Genuine happiness can only be achieved when we transform our way of life from the unthinking pursuit of pleasure to one committed to enriching our inner lives. When we focus on being more rather than simply having more, says Daisaku Ikeda. Most of us have been programmed to think that in order to be happier and to make the most out of our life, we need to have more money, more possessions, more gadgets, more friends, bigger houses and cars, bigger job title, and the list of bigger is better goes on. If this were indeed the case, we should be talking about making more money, consuming more, aiming for the next big promotion, and singing the praises of retail therapy. However, doing all of these gives us a little high, but before long, a feeling of emptiness and dissatisfaction sets in once more, and we look again to having even more as the route to happiness. The cycle repeats itself. The high moments get shorter, and more stuff is needed to sustain them and satiate us. Contrary to general belief, greater wealth, material consumption, and more choices have not made us any happier compared to our grandparents' time, when people owned and owed less. Most people talk about more, having more, and doing more. However, this video is about less, how one can live well and better with less. That is, less stuff but the right stuff. In this video, we will see how minimalism and living more simply can transform your life and help you make the most of it. This video is not just about getting rid of stuff and clutter. It is also about changing our mindset and looking at life with a new perspective. Rather than rising levels of well-being, we have seen mounting credit card debt and increasing numbers of self-storage facilities to house the things that we compulsively buy. Minimalist writer Regina Wong, author of the book Make Space, says, "Life is too short for such short-term remedies. We need a cure, not a band-aid. We need something that provides us with a holistic and long-term solution. And minimalism can be that solution." According to Wong, philosophy of minimalism is about getting rid of excess and the non-essentials, and the act of distilling to what is essential, that which gives us joy, value, and purpose to our lives. It is a practice in evaluating what the constituents of our happiness are and focusing on these essentials for optimal fulfillment. Regina Wong, while sharing her past, says whenever she felt unhappy and stressed, all she needed to do was go for retail therapy. However, in her darkest hour, Wong realized that she has other options in life. According to her, we didn't need the stuff that kept us rooted in a life and job that sucked out joy, hope, and energy. Instead of subscribing to conventional beliefs and benchmarks, we could define how we want to live our life and what makes it successful. Philosophy of minimalism says, by reorienting ourselves to the right priorities, by making different but better choices, and by living with less, we can live life with more freedom, awareness, fulfillment, and intensity. As Regina Wong says, I am now living more with less. When you think of the word minimalism, what comes to your mind? Monotone clothing, stark white decor, near empty spaces. See, minimalism can be all of these and a lot more. It is not just a physical manifestation, it is relevant to our mental and emotional levels as well. Minimalism is all about reassessing your priorities so that you can strip away the excess and non-essential stuff, the possessions, beliefs, behavior, habits, relationships, and activities that don't bring value to your life and focus on the essential stuff that does. Buddhist philosopher Daisaku Ikeda says we must focus on what we simply cannot live without, rather than asking how little we can live with. Living minimally should be a joy and not a deprivation. Philosophy of minimalism can be explained best by the Swedish word lagom. Lagom is defined as enough, sufficient, adequate, just right. Lagom can be translated as in moderation, in balance, perfect simple, and suitable. Notice there are no connotations here of an insufficiency that leads to deprivation, and certainly no excess that results from overconsumption. Similarly, minimalism is like pouring tea into a cup. Too little tea will fail to satiate a need, thirst, and too much will result in an overflowing cup that requires time and effort to clean up. A common misperception about minimalism and simplicity is that if you have very little or nothing, you are living life as a minimalist. Some people might say, I have never had much money and don't own many possessions, so I guess I am a minimalist. It is possible that this is true, but minimalism is more about living intentionally and consciously than being financially poor and owning few possessions. It should be a conscious choice rather than something forced upon us. Therefore, the focus of minimalism should not be on stuff as much as intention. Some of us might live with few possessions, as it is appropriate for our lifestyle and needs. Others might find that their library of 300 books provides much joy and inspiration. If you love books, getting rid of all your books would probably make you very unhappy, and that defeats the whole premise of minimalism. Minimalism should be about focusing on what is essential to our happiness and fulfillment. Expert says there is a limit, both physical and emotional, that possessions and non-essential stuff can provide us. For example, buying a $100,000 house might make us very happy, but buying a $500,000 house would not necessarily make us 5 times happier. This is due to the law of diminishing returns. You know, after a certain point, additional income and possessions do not deliver a significant and corresponding change to our level of happiness. In fact, in many cases, the result is less happiness. Similarly, fewer possessions do not mean less satisfaction. Having less, but having the right stuff, can deliver more fulfillment. Needless to say, at its core, minimalism is an ethos with a focus on joy and purpose. It is a tool that helps us gain freedom. Freedom from being overwhelmed, from non-essential stuff, from consumer culture, from emotional blockages, and from debt and joyless pursuits. So, minimalism facilitates tangible freedom and the living of an extraordinary life. Dave Bruno says, when we crave simplicity, we are not after an easier life, we are after life. Minimalism and living well with less is about having more of the things that matter and less of those that don't. It frees us up to pursue our life's purpose and dreams, increases our options to pursue things that fulfill us, and improves the quality of our lives. It gives us the space to breathe, time to reflect and ponder, and the energy and resources to pursue the things that add value. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more empowering content. And if our content has inspired you, consider supporting our channel by becoming a member or giving super, your contributions enable us to keep delivering valuable and uplifting content. Thanks for watching.